So the next part is how to effectively increase your credit score. This is the nitty gritty stuff, all right? Um, so when we are going through and increasing our credit, you want to basically make sure you follow these 5 steps, and these 5 steps will take you through um, the best ways that you could do this without having to pay money to do it. And that's what I really, a lot of people say, how can I do it? Here's how you do it. And this is where you start. If you can't get you can't get to where you want to, then just hit me up. We'll do a quick 15-minute consultation. I can just go through and say, okay, this is where you need to go. But if you want the help, I'm here to help. All right. So the first thing you definitely need to do is pull your credit report. A lot of people think Credit Karma is going to help them, right? And that's not always true. And I'm going to tell you why. So Credit Karma basically goes in and they just pull the summary. They don't pull the detail. They don't pull the the breakdown of all the information that goes into each vendor. They are just a summary page that says, "Hey, let's get these people on our page. We're going to tell them that they could possibly get this credit." They always put a may or possibly in front of everything because it's not guaranteed. And they basically bring you in and have you thinking that, okay, my credit score is here, and they're this reputable site is saying that I can possibly get this credit. So they run your credit, and now you're declined for something that you definitely shouldn't have applied for in the first place. So when you go to Credit Karma, make sure that it is just there for informational purposes to see what is actually changing if your methods are working. Okay, that is the only reason that you're on Credit Karma. Um, so another misconception I get is that you you don't know you don't know how to do this, so you don't really take any action. So you're spending a lot of time researching. You're going through and not having qualified letters to send out to the credit bureaus, um, and you just really start becoming inconsistent. So I really want you to know that the first step is viewing your credit report is the first viewing your real credit report is the first action that you definitely need to take. Um, there is a couple of places that is on that list. So there's annualcreditreport.com. And then there's also a link. Mine's is bit.ly/LFSCR, all capitalized LFSCR. That will take you to another site. On that site, it will charge you $1 for 7 days. Then it'll give you a discounted price every month. When you go there, you're able to pull your credit report all in one. It's beautifully laid out so that you can see detail. On annual credit reports, you get each individual. With the one that I'm giving you, you get them all laid out all in one. You can see the differences. You don't got to search. It makes it a lot easier. So you can do which one you want to do, but I'm trying to help you out here. All right. So the number 2 step that you definitely need to do is automate your payments or put your payment reminders in your calendar. So let me talk about that. Automating your payments is basically going into your credit card or your vendor account and saying, "Hey, I want you to make a payment, do an automatic payment on a couple of days or on the day that this bill is due of the balance that is owed," or you can set it up for even more. So this stops late payments, which is a huge factor in your credit report. This stops you having to remember if the item is due or not, or if you're late or not. All that stuff is just wiped away, gone once you set this up, okay? Some people come to me and say, "Hey, I can't automate because my money is funny. I have to transfer money from my my savings to my checkings and then transfer from my checkings to my other savings." I get it. I'm there with you most of the time. But you can actually just set up calendar reminders. Calendar reminders are going to let you remember that you have a bill that's to be paid. I would set it up a couple of days before. And this is one of the ways to make sure that you are staying on top of your credit card stuff that's going to actually hit your credit report. Okay, so moving on to number 3. I'm trying not to have y'all sitting here waiting a long time. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box, and I will get to those towards the end of this. All right. So number 3 is you're gonna wait to pay collections. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're not gonna pay them. What I'm saying is Well, I'm not saying that you're not going to pay them. I'm not saying that you're not liable for that debt. What I'm saying is you're going to wait. So, true story, I have had a lot of people come to me saying, hey, I paid this collection off or this charge off and it's still there. And I'm like, you should have came to me first. But I'm going to give you this information. When you pay off your charge off or collections that have already hit your report in a negative way, those vendors have no legal terms to update, delete, or make that account be in good standing. There's two things that you can do. You can let it sit there for 7 years and hope that it just falls off. Or, well, I guess there's three things. So you can sit there, let it sit there. You can call them and say, hey, I'm going to make my payment, try to work and negotiate a lower price. But then you're going to ask them, when I make my payment, can you delete this item off of my credit report? They're going to say yes or no. Doesn't hurt to ask. I always say, when you get that yes from them, get that yes information. Get that letter. Get a letter from them saying that they have approved this payment, this amount to be taken off of this account to be taken off of your credit, and get that in writing before you pay. Because if you don't, it's going to sit there. And the third thing that you can do is definitely give me a call. So disputing is the other way, and you have basically you're going to get the drive method that's going to show you how to do it on your own. But if you don't want to, if you don't got the time, if you're just like, hey, take it over, I'm here, I'm ready. I can definitely help you. We do a free consultation where we walk through the possibilities, and we show you the program. But on top of that, we show you the action plan. We give you the strategy. We show you what we're going to do and what you get with the program. All right. So that's number 3. Wait to pay them. But on top of that, number 3, part 2, 3.5 is paying your open balances. So if you have an open credit card with a high limit, you are 30% or higher with that credit card on outstanding balance, you definitely want to pay that card down as much as you can. These are different things you could do right now, okay? When you pay that card's balance down to 30, 15, 10%, what you're ultimately doing is getting all those points that you lost, you're getting all those points back. So what I've seen is when people go and they start raising their outstanding debt. So let's say you start using that credit card. So I'm sorry, when we go back and we lower those account balances, when we raise account balances, they leave. All the points leave. Your credit score starts to go down, but when you pay them down, those same points come right back to you. So definitely look into that. Paying your collections down as much as possible. Paying your open accounts down as much as possible makes a huge difference. Now, the fourth thing. Let's go to the next slide. There we go. So we're going to talk about the drive method right quick. All right. So within the drive method, it's basically a breakdown of how to actually create your report. So the fourth step is start disputing negative items. And this drive method is going to take you through how to actually do that, because there is detail. The detail that needs to go into it, okay? Letters are effective. They are the most effective ways to get items removed before the 7 years. And it also helps you, it also keeps me in business because that's exactly what I do. But it also helps you get those off earlier, but then you can actually get things updated too. So let's see, within the drive method, let me go to the next slide. Boom. All right. What we are ultimately doing is telling the credit bureaus, not the creditors, the credit bureaus, we're saying, hey, can you prove this? You get that? Can you prove this? I need you to prove this. And what we're doing with the disputing techniques is showing them that something is wrong. So the law basically says that anything that's inaccurate on your credit report has to be removed. If it's not showing correctly, it could be a digit off. It could be an incorrect date. It could be they're saying something different than the other creditors or the other credit bureaus are saying. Somebody's wrong. So anything that's not showing on your account that anything that's showing inaccurately on your account has to be deleted. And like I said, that's why I have a job, because I start nitpicking everything. And why I wanted you to pull the credit report from the link that I gave you is because it breaks it down so easy. Okay, it saves a lot of time. I'm here to help you save time and do it effectively and efficiently. So when we send these letters, we are nitpicking everything from social security number to the date open to this one says this and that one says that. You ever been had somebody nitpick at everything? That's what we're doing. That's what I do. That's what I do for a living. I nitpick at everything. But really, you want to make sure that you are checking what's on your actual credit report, finding inaccuracies, and then you're going to create this letter. So the drive method takes you through the letter of how to actually structure your disputing for each credit bureau. So what you want to do is address the credit bureau and say, hey, credit bureau, hi, Equifax, hi, TransUnion, hi, Experian. And you're going to lay out your information. My name, my address, my phone. You don't have to put your phone number. Name, address. You can put the last four of your social. And when you send this information, make sure you include a picture of your ID and proof of address, okay? So on the documentation part of it, you're going to put that information, name, address, last four of your social, okay? Then you're going to come up with the reasoning. So going through your report, you're going to see inaccuracies. You're just going to say this inaccuracy. The number on this credit card, blah, 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 is not the same as the other credit bureaus. Please take a look at it. You're going to include the information for that credit card. So you always want to make sure when you do your reasoning, you're including the information of what card you're talking about. And then you're going to tell them at the end of listing every single one out, you're going to say, I need you to validate this information. I don't want to verify it. I want it validated. When you have them validate, they have to take a look at it. They have to go talk to that creditor. They have to go and stop and not send it through their little scanning machines. They have to look at it. When they validate, you are getting somebody in a person and not a machine, okay? And when you are done with this, the execution part of this is sending the letter out. That's the hardest part, because action, it's not the hardest part, it's the easiest part. Sending the letter out, like, this is the action you have to follow through. You have to stay consistent. They have 30 days after you have sent that letter out to come back and send you something saying, hey, this is what we found. This is what we updated. This is what we deleted. And after you get that back, you go back through, update that credit report, and see what's actually been changed and validated and deleted. And then you do it all over again. You already have the letters. Make sure you save the letters, and you already have the letters to send out for the next round. Okay? Oh, you just got some great juice right there. I'm telling you, because it's great. This is like the bread and butter to my job. Don't be trying to take my job though. The bread and butter. So this is what I go through, and I make sure I create for each of my clients so that they know how to how I effectively improve their score. But this is how you can do it on your own. The last part is number 5 is stay consistent. So if you're not consistent, then it's just like you're wasting your time. Okay. You need to make sure that I'm going to say 35 days. Every 35 days, you're updating your report, creating new letters, going through and making sure that things have been changed, and following the process. So that is just a breakdown of how to do this on your own, DIY. You don't need me or the business. You could do it on your own. Because at the end of the day, I always hear people say, oh, it takes years to improve your credit. I got to wait to 7 years, or it's going to take 2 to 3 years. It doesn't. It doesn't. You just got to take the action. You have to follow the strategies. You have to make sure that you are doing this and cutting down the time of doing it, and by actually following through, okay? It will take years if you're only sending out one dispute letter every, 45, 60 days. Every 2 months you send out a dispute letter. It's going to take time. But if you're sending them out consistently, you got this, all right?